Today on Studio G, reporter Farron Enos tells us how City Councilman Ricky Barlow is doing all he can to help increase the safety of pedestrians.
Shelly Salbito gets to know a special little boy with type 1 diabetes.
And Tommy Laren will sit down with UNLV dance professor Dolly Kelpez to discuss the history behind twerking.
All this and more right now on Studio G.
Good afternoon, I'm Elena Ledbetter.
And I'm Ashley Schaefer.
8 people are now confirmed dead in the Midwest tornado. That is 2 more than yesterday's update. People are being found buried under rubble and even cement slabs. In Washington, Illinois, there are more than 120 people injured and 400 homes destroyed. The devastation is tremendous, and anyone looking to help should contact their local Red Cross or go to redcross.org.
Adrian Navarro Canales, the teen accused of killing his mother and brother in September, appeared in Clark County District Court yesterday, where he pleaded not guilty to the 2 counts of murder. He is being charged as an adult and could face as little as 10 years in prison for a second-degree murderer conviction or the maximum sentence of life in prison without parole. If he is found guilty for first-degree murder, because Navarro Canales is not yet 18, he will not be eligible for the death sentence.
George Zimmerman is in trouble with the law again. Zimmerman was arrested yesterday afternoon after deputies responded to a disturbance call at Zimmerman's residence where he lives with his girlfriend. Zimmerman was charged with assault and was in court today. Zimmerman's pregnant girlfriend called 911 while yelling at him.
I'm doing this again? You just broke my glass table, you just broke my sunglasses, and you put your gun in my freaking face and told me to get the out because this is not your house. No, get out of here.
Zimmerman has been in trouble with the law numerous times since the charges were dropped from the Trayvon Martin murder case. In today's court hearing, Zimmerman was charged with felony, aggravated assault, and 2 misdemeanors on allegations that he pointed a shotgun at his girlfriend. Bail was set at $9,000 during this first court appearance.
Being a pedestrian in Las Vegas is becoming more and more dangerous, but lawmakers are looking to change that. Reporter Farron Enos has more.
With so many recent pedestrian deaths here in the Las Vegas Valley, the community is crying out for leaders to do something, and officials are finally listening.
Councilman Ricky Barlow announced the results of a traffic study focusing on Martin Luther King Boulevard on Monday, and that changes are on the horizon. The study was conducted on MLK Boulevard between Balazar and Bartlett Avenues after 2 pedestrians were killed within recent months. There have been a total of 93 traffic-related deaths in the valley this year, and officials are looking to stabilize that number. Included in new safety developments will be lights, flashers, push buttons for crosswalks, and the 45-mile-per-hour zone will be reduced to 35 miles per hour. Along with the study, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police held a meeting of their own on Monday to discuss how to put a stop to the rise in pedestrian deaths, and a plan to issue more jaywalking tickets may be the next step in keeping people safe. UNLV students weighed in on the troubling situation, and student Marilyn Zavala doesn't think crosswalks will help the problem at hand.
I've been seeing on the news that there's a lot of pedestrians being ran over because just crazy drivers, and I think crosswalks, they don't really make it safer because they could just ignore it and just go by.
Student Madeleine Hofkin believes keeping pedestrians safe is a two-way street.
It's not just pedestrians, it's not just drivers. I think everyone needs to look up from their cell phone and start looking where they're walking.
With research being done and the community becoming more vocal, the Las Vegas community can only hope this will lead to safer streets. For Studio G, I'm Farron Enos.
Thanks, Farron. Looks like this may be just the beginning of many safety changes to come.
Blood sugar checks, insulin shots, and pumps, and endless doctor's appointments. They are scary scenarios for anyone, especially for a 2-year-old. That's the reality for Legacy Maxwell. Legacy and his father share this story with reporter Shelly Salbito about what it's like to live with type 1 diabetes.
Legacy Maxwell looks like your typical 2-year-old boy. He loves sports and also hanging out with his father, LeVar Maxwell. From the way he actively immerses himself into activities, you might never suspect Legacy is carrying a disease.
My son got diagnosed with diabetes at 13 months.
Serving as an advocate for the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, LeVar Maxwell never expected this to be the norm for his son.
The hardest thing that I've seen is when he goes through his mood changes, you know, because you don't know if he's, you don't know if it's his sugar that's causing the mood swings, or if it's just his, his age, or how a 2 years old is supposed to act.
The learning isn't over for LeVar and Legacy, or for scientists who still aren't entirely sure what triggers type 1 diabetes. It comes on suddenly, can strike people at any age, and carries the threat of devastating complications.
Your immune system attacks certain cells in your pancreas that make insulin. They see them as a germ. And unfortunately, no matter what we do, it just keeps attacking. It's like a vicious cycle. So the body is no longer able to produce insulin, which you need for energy. So without insulin, within a week, a type 1 diabetic would die.
Alexis Noel is an advocate for JDRF and undergoes the complications of having type 1 diabetes through her son, Justice Noel. Alexis's son, Sincere, understands that his brother needs just a little more attention with everyday activities.
I have to get him like bars and juice, and when he needs sugar, I give him something from a cookie jar, and like sometimes when he's high, he's a little jerky, so I just have to deal with it or go to my room or somewhere else he's not.
As a juvenile diabetic, little Legacy wears an insulin pump that he uses each day. Legacy also has to test his blood sugar with finger pricks 6 to 10 times a day.
Yay! 183. Yay!
Over the weekend, the Maxwells joined hundreds of people at the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation walk held at UNLV. It was a time for hope and excitement that one day there will be a cure, just like Legacy's team name, The Cure.
We need to find a cure so not only my son, but other people around the world can be cured from this disease.
There are no small steps in this journey. Every step, participant, and dollar raised brings JDRF closer to their goal of creating a world without type 1 diabetes. For Studio G, I'm Shelly Salbito.
The goal of JDRF research is to improve the lives of all people affected by the type 1 diabetes, especially for children like Legacy Maxwell. On the other side of the break, we will have our national news headlines from reporter Jamie Seymour. Your community's farmers market. Welcoming, lively, friendly. A place where neighbors and friends come together to celebrate their community. With over 50 vendors, organic, sustainable, fresh produce are available just for you. Support and buy local at Fresh 52.
My name is James Grant.
King Louie here.
This is Jennifer.
Crystal May Maguerza.
I'm Savannah.
Zoe here.
This is your boy Miles Lowe.
Christian FGY.
Kaylin Hype. And I'm Jay Luna.
My Mind's Music.
Gonzo Radio.
Combox Radio.
Join us for Happy Hour.
The Miles Lowe Midweek Show.
Ill Vibe Theory.
On KUNV.
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 KUNV HD2.
91.5 The Rebel.
Broadcast on Revcast.com.
Welcome back to this week's segment of National News. Friday marks the 50-year anniversary of the death of President Kennedy. The nation mourned after JFK's assassination on November 22, 1963. With this week marking the 50-year anniversary, many are remembering the late president. The History Channel has declared a project called the JFK Twitter Takeover, with a play-by-play account of Kennedy's final days. CBS will also stream their live, uncut coverage of the assassination as it happened on its website.
The president, we were anxious, we were excited, we were doing what we would do in the care of a normal trauma patient, and yet here was the President of the United States. Nobody knew he was dead.
Another anniversary remembered this week is the Gettysburg Address, delivered on this day 150 years ago by President Lincoln. The speech is one of the best known in American history, delivered by Lincoln during the American Civil War. Thousands gathered today at the Gettysburg National Cemetery in Pennsylvania to ponder what the address meant to the nation that symbolized Lincoln's presidency and the sacrifices made by Union and Confederate forces. Attendees laid wreaths at the site and observed a moment of silence. A noticeable absence was a prominent Lincoln fan, President Obama. It is unclear why the president didn't attend. 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Recent polls show an increase for hiring women in an unlikely field, tech firms. The technology industry, long considered a male-dominated field, suddenly has firms hiring more women than men. Over the past year, 60,000 jobs have been added to the industry, with 60% of those jobs going to women, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, compared to prior years where men made up 70 to 80% of new hires. Tune in next week for all of the major headlines across the nation. Now let's send it back to the desk for a little rock and roll fun.
The Rock and Roll Marathon hit Vegas for its 5th annual race. Reporter Bree Padilla has more on the 3-day event.
Runners of all shapes and sizes rocked harder Sunday evening to benefit the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America at its 5th annual Rock and Roll Las Vegas Marathon and Half Marathon. Called the Super Bowl of Marathons by event organizers, the race brought more than 30,000 runners from all 50 states and 52 countries to Vegas for a 3-day event. An extended fitness expo kicked everything off on Friday morning before the race. More than 100 vendors filled the north lobby of Las Vegas's convention center, where runners picked up their numbers and gear. A giant shoe ride, guest speakers, and fitness exhibitions were just a few of the attractions featured at the expo. According to volunteers, the expo was also a way for those affected by Crohn's disease to reconnect with each other and to share their stories.
So it's really amazing to hear all the different stories, and I go everywhere. Everyone I meet, I have someone that I know, or I have the disease, and you just don't talk about it very often. So it just gets the word out there and makes it okay to talk about it.
The race took place in the heart of Las Vegas's Strip, where barricades sectioned off the street from 10 a.m. until after 11 p.m. With the events of the Boston Marathon still fresh in the minds and the hearts of the racing community, security was also a top priority during the race. Runners participating in Sunday's event saw an increase in uniformed law enforcement, and there were several medical, hydration, and security tents along the route to ensure the safest possible experience for runners. Credited for being one of the Valley's biggest philanthropic events, Sunday's race is estimated to have raised more than $20 million in its 5-year tenure. The funds raised are dedicated to researching and curing debilitating digestive diseases that affect more than 1.4 million Americans.
No, it's not, and that's a big part of what we do. We don't just raise money. Our program's raised almost $50 million. We started in 2007, but that's not really all we do. We raise a lot of awareness. A lot of the people that join our program use it as an outlet, as a chance to meet a lot of people that are impacted by these diseases, and you don't hear about it on the news. It's not a disease that's all over everything, and so that awareness piece is a big part of what we do, and we have support groups, and the program itself kind of serves as an adult support group. We get to travel to different destinations, get to know people that either themselves or their kids, family members are affected by these diseases. It's a great support.
The marathon also benefits the Las Vegas economy. According to an economic impact study, last year's marathon produced more than $180 million in total economic impact, including $96 million in direct visitor spending. With the event's size growing by the thousands every year, it's clear that this race toward a cure will continue to rock harder. For Studio G, I'm Bree Padilla.
For more about Crohn's and colitis disease, or to check out how you can participate in the next event, go to ccteamchallenge.org. After the break, Donald Woods will give us the science and technology news.
Don't go anywhere, we will be right back.
I think what a lot of people don't realize, we provide 1,300 hot meals a day through 3 of our kitchens. We have about 650 people sleeping in beds provided by the Salvation Army every night. We have 127,000 of people that we touch every year. It's huge, and people have no idea that we do more than have thrift stores and ring bells at Christmas.
DECA promotes personal and professional development through competitive events, community involvement, and leadership development.
I joined DECA because I wanted to get out of my comfort zone. So I got to meet people, network, and definitely work on my public speaking.
To join DECA, it's a very simple process. You have to pay a $25 membership fee. You can either come to our next meeting, our website, which is unlvdeca.co.vu.
We're open to all majors who are interested in business, finance, or hospitality-related fields.
Hello, I'm Donald Woods with this Tuesday segment of Science and Technology. NASA's new robotic explorer called MAVEN blasted off yesterday to Mars. MAVEN is short for Mars Atmosphere and Volatile Evolution. Its main purpose is to orbit the red planet and study its atmosphere, trying to get an understanding of how it transformed from being a warm and wet to cold and dry planet. This is a $671 million mission. It will take 10 months to arrive and travel billions of miles. It is set to reach Mars next year in September. Cell phones are charged with battery power, but a new technology is coming out where mobile users can charge their phone with not batteries, but with hydrogen. And Americans won't be the first to have it either. Smartphone users in Africa are going to soon have the alternate means to get a portable charger that relies on hydrogen fuel cells. The charger are made by a British company, Intelligent Energy. They plan to roll out 1 million of these new chargers in mid-December, centered mainly in Nigeria and South Africa. The hydrogen chargers easily fit into handbags and consist of fuel cell and non-disposable cartridges that can be detached when exhausted. For many people, the right social network has to consist of features that will make sharing ideas and information entertaining and consistent interests. But as of right now, the hottest app trending in social networking simplifies social networking to taking a picture and writing a message. The message service in Snapchat is starting a wide following, especially among teens, because of its deletion of user content. Unlike with networks like Facebook, where it's possible to store users' content, with Snapchat you can pick how long the message will appear, and after that it disappears forever and there is no way of retrieving it. Neither any history or trace of the chat anywhere online in cyberspace. The 2-year-old company does not gain any profits from this app. Recently they denied a $3 billion buyout offer from Facebook, which some media outlets are calling a rejected friends request. That's all the science and technology news I have for this Tuesday. I'm Donald Woods, and now we'll send it over to China Green with our weather.
Thanks, Donald. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm China Green. I'll be giving you your weather today. So at this very moment, we're at 63 degrees. It is sunny, but we do have some clouds sneaking in there, and then winds will not be an issue today at zip miles per hour. And today we're looking at a high of 63, so what you feel right now is as warm as it's going to get. So if you're feeling a little cool, it's going to get colder. And then our low is going to be 53 degrees, and then we're going to have a sunset at 4:30. For your current weather, it's fairly cool in our region. We do have some sun over here. It's sunny in Durango and sunny at 58 degrees in Gallup, New Mexico. And then it's actually colder in California, which we never really see. And then we're over here at 63 degrees with those clouds. And for your satellite weather, we have a lot of rain and clouds coming in on the West Coast. We may see a little bit of that in Nevada. We'll keep you posted on that. And then there's not a lot going on in the eastern area of the U.S. And for tomorrow's forecast, a lot of rain, a lot of clouds. We do have rain in Boise and rain. Actually, we have snow in Billings. That's a first. And then we do have mostly sun in the East Coast. And then we have rain in Miami. And for your extended forecast, we're going to have a lot of clouds throughout the week. There's a 30% of rain or chance of rain on Saturday, and then we'll get back to the sun on Tuesday. That's all the weather forecast I have for you today. We'll be right back after this short break.
You drinking tonight?
No, not tonight.
Well, give me a couple beers. You want some?
No, stop.
Come on, just take a drink.
No.
It's just a drink.
I have to drive us home. Can
Okay.
you even walk in a straight line?
Yes, want me to show you?
Oh, yeah, you're good.
Man, what are you talking about? I got this.
Just give me the keys, please.
I ain't drunk though.
This is your house too. Located on the campus of UNLV on Brussels Street sits Housel House, the Center for Social Justice. A place where everyone can participate, explore cultural identity, share different experiences, and learn leadership skills. No judgments, You are accepted, you are important, and you are welcomed.
Stand up.
Speak out. And change the world.
Welcome back from the break. Today we'll be talking twerking with UNLV dance professor Dolly Kellepez. Thanks for being with us, Dolly.
My pleasure, Tommy.
So now twerking busted on the scene with Miley Cyrus's infamous VMA performance, which I'm sure we've all seen by now, but where did it come from?
I actually pulled it up again this morning to try and watch it, and a lot of it's blocked. You can't
Oh,
watch
really?
it. Yeah, you can't watch it anymore. I think it came from booty popping.
Okay.
From best that but if you think about that kind of sexual hip gyration, you could maybe say it came from Elvis, and then Michael Jackson had something to do with it, but directly booty popping, I think.
And can you kind of explain for those that don't know what booty popping is? What's the technique behind that?
The technique, shaking your booty up and down.
And now, how is twerking different from booty popping? In what ways?
I think it's more extreme, and I think that's what we always do with all kinds of dance movements, especially if it has some sort of sexual connotation. I just think it is more sexual. The positions you get in are more extreme. Yeah, I was hearing about a boyfriend helping his girlfriend get into the position. So, I mean, I think some people need help to try and get in the positions.
So that kind of leads me to my next question. Do you have to have a certain body type to be able to twerk or to twerk well?
Well, I think that's what's really so funny about Miley Cyrus, because she's so tiny. I think, the bigger the rear package, the better it's going to be. You got to have some looseness in your lower back. In all seriousness, I'm a ballet dancer, but that doesn't. I teach sex dance and entertainment.
Right.
So it doesn't mean that I don't know what's happening in the dance scene. I was a principal dancer singer on the Strip for a while, so I haven't only done ballet, but I have to be super honest. I don't twerk on a daily basis. Maybe in my bedroom alone, if I see if I could do it. I don't know, but yeah, I'm not really that big of an expert. But I do know about the dance world and the movement and what's happening with different new styles.
Absolutely. So your students, you're a dance professor. What do you tell your students when they want to incorporate these new dance fads into the class or into a professional setting?
Well, yeah. So here at UNLV, we try to stay with the basic forms of dance. So we're really focusing mostly on ballet, jazz, and modern. But we do teach hip hop, and I'm sure part of the hip hop, there's some booty popping going on. And I haven't really seen any students try to incorporate it into their choreography, but I'm sure if I were to follow them at night and see what they're doing in the clubs, I'm sure they're doing that.
Would you say that there's a technique behind twerking? Is it a dance that can be studied?
I think there's a technique. I think it's an isolated movement, and jazz technique is probably the closest, because we do a lot of hip isolations, and it is just an isolation of the muscles of the abdominals and the lower back, trying to release and contract them.
And we talk about twerking, and it's all fun and games, and we laugh about it, but there's no question dancing is becoming more sexual. So we've already got twerking, which you kind of described as shaking your booty sometimes against a wall. Where do we go from here? How much more sexual does it get?
Yeah, I think it's funny because I had mentioned Elvis previously, and I know when Elvis first did his gyrations and he was on the Ed Sullivan Show, they went, whoa, dude, don't do that. We're only going to shoot you from the waist up. So, and I'm sure at that time we were like, where is that going to go? How much further can we go? We can't go any further. I'm sure there's another place to go. I don't know where that place is, but I think that the youth always finds another more extreme taboo place to go.
I suppose that's true, and Miley Cyrus continues to push the envelope more and more because it's the need to shock people.
Yeah.
So I guess my next question would be, where do we, in terms of where do we go from here? As far as you said, the youth in school dances, they're being disciplined now because of these movements. Do you think that it's disciplinary action?
Well, you're talking about school dances as in what age group?
Middle school to high school.
Right. So, but when you get in college, nobody's telling you don't do that with your booty. So I think, yeah. And I think that's probably the most disturbing part for me, is that Miley Cyrus grew up as a Disney, Hannah Montana actress, singer, and now she's trying to cross over into the adult world, and this is what she's chosen to do to help herself to transition into that area. I don't know that it's the wisest decision that she could have made, but I think that's what she's chosen to do. And whether it's going to be banned in schools, I think kids are always going to try what they see their role models doing. And yeah, I think that they'll probably try to ban it, but I don't know if they'll be able to
continue to push the envelope.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us, Dolly. Maybe we'll have to have you come back in the next couple years and see what's next as far as the dance craze. And when we come back, we'll have Honey Love with our holiday specials. Stay with us.
Telling you why Santa Claus is coming to town. Roll that opener.
Hope you got your list ready. It's that time of the year again. Santa's coming here again. We cool, yo, so I just call him old Saint Nick. We go way back before time. And way back before rhyme. So what you saying, that I'm someone he grew up with? He always check his list to see who's naughty and
What's
nice.
up, Las Vegas? It's that time of year again, and this is the holiday segment of Sin City Streets. I'm Honey Love, and if you've been naughty or nice, you might want to think twice because the bearded man himself touched down right here in Las Vegas, and he's checking his list.
The annual Christmas parade made its way through the streets of Town Square this weekend. Jump-starting the parade was the Desert Sky Bagpipes, followed by Las Vegas Metro Police, the Clark County Fire Department, and the Chaparral Marching Band. For 7 years, Town Square has been making this holiday tradition a memorable experience for families from all over.
I think really Las Vegas enjoys having a place where they can come and gather with the entire family and really have a family fun experience.
Preparations for the parade are year-round, but immediately after Halloween, they kick it into gear and start prepping for Santa's arrival to his Norman Rockwell-inspired home, which takes 14 days to construct.
Once he arrives, children are going to help him magically light the tree.
Jolly Saint Nick arrived in modern-day fashion on his very own custom float. So how was your trip out here?
It was good. It was good. We had a nice trip. Good weather all the way.
And all the way from the North Pole, he brought along some snow.
They came with me. They got it. We got her right down here ready to go tonight.
And as I cuddled up on the couch with Kris Kringle, I got a chance to let him know exactly what I wanted for Christmas. I've been a pretty good girl this year.
Have you?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if you can make this possible, I would like a husband.
A husband. I'll do what I can.
Thanks, Santa. You're the greatest.
No problem.
I'll make sure to let you know if there's a husband under my tree on Christmas. Well, Santa's residency here in Las Vegas will end on December 24th, and then he heads back to the North Pole to prep for next year. That does it for this segment of Sin City Streets. I'm Honey Love, and you know I got the key to these Sin City Streets. And with that, you know your girls got you covered. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, honey. That was a very interesting story you have there. Well, that's all we have for you today. I'm Elena Ledbetter.
And I'm Ashley Schaefer. Have a great day, Las Vegas.